They act like nothing can shake them, like they're untouchable, strong, independent, unaffected by men. But that's a lie. Every woman, no matter how confident, how powerful, has a breaking point, a moment where all that control crumbles. And the right man? He doesn't chase, he doesn't beg. He knows exactly what makes her unravel. Here's what most men never understand. Attraction isn't about money. It's not about looks. It's not even about status. It's about psychology. Subconscious triggers are so powerful they override logic. The kind that makes her feel something she can't explain, something she can't resist. And once you learn how to tap into them, she won't just want you. She'll need you. The first trigger is the touch that breaks her. A woman can resist words. She can ignore compliments, deflect charm, and even pretend she's uninterested. But touch, that's different. Touch isn't something she thinks about. It's something she feels. A study in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships confirms what some men have known for centuries. Physical touch floods a woman's brain with oxytocin, the hormone of trust, connection, and deep-seated desire. It's why she can be unsure about a man, but the second he guides her gently through a doorway with his hand on the small of her back, something shifts. It's not the touch itself. It's what it awakens in her. The feeling of being led, of being handled with quiet confidence. It bypasses logic, overrides hesitation, and triggers something primal. A slight brush against her wrist, a firm but subtle hand on her knee, a slow, deliberate touch as he leans in. The right touch at the right moment isn't just physical, it's psychological warfare. And the men who master it, they don't just catch a woman's attention, they stay in her mind long after she's walked away. This is why the so-called bad boys seem to have an unfair advantage. It's not the attitude, it's the presence. They move with certainty. They close the distance effortlessly. They don't just talk, they make her feel. A casual hand traced the edge of her jawline. A slow, knowing smirk as they lean in just a little too close. Suddenly, she's not in control anymore. And the moment she realizes that, it's already too late. The second weakness is the forbidden effect. It's wired into human nature. People crave what they can't have. And women? They're no exception. The moment something becomes scarce, it becomes valuable. That's why the guy who showers her with affection gets ignored. But the one who keeps her guessing? He's the one she can't stop thinking about. Why does she suddenly want a man more the second another woman shows interest? Why does she become obsessed with the one who seems just out of reach? Because her mind isn't reacting to him, it's reacting to lack. The possibility of losing something makes it 10 times more desirable. Psychologist Robert Cialdini called this the scarcity principle. The more unattainable something appears, the more people will fight for it. And in attraction, this principle is deadly. A man who is always available? Forgettable. She expects him to be there. She knows she has him. She doesn't think twice. But the man who makes her wonder? Unpredictable. A mystery she can't solve. A puzzle she needs to figure out. A woman only fights for what she thinks she might lose. And the men who truly understand this? They do 3 things differently. They don't chase. The man who bombards her with texts, clears his schedule, or constantly seeks validation, he becomes invisible to her. But the one who's busy, who has a purpose bigger than her, that's the man she respects. They make her qualify. The second a man treats her like she's replaceable, she fights to prove she's not. It's instinct. He doesn't put her on a pedestal. He makes her climb. They walk away. The most powerful move a man can make is leaving. The moment she senses he's willing to disappear forever, her perspective shifts. Suddenly, she values him. Because now, he's something she can't afford to lose. This is the paradox of attraction. The more available you are, the less she wants you. But the moment she realizes she doesn't have you, that's when the obsession begins. The third weakness. Why drama keeps her hooked? Most men think women want a safe relationship. Stability. Peace. A love that's steady, predictable. But if that were true, why do so many women walk away from the good guys? Why do they stay obsessed with the ones who drive them crazy? Because deep down, she doesn't just want love, she wants an experience. And comfort? Comfort kills desire. A woman who feels nothing is already halfway out the door. She craves something that moves her, shakes her, makes her feel alive. That's why the men who create emotional contrast never get replaced. Psychologists have studied this for years. Dopamine, the chemical of addiction, spikes not when things are steady, but when emotions swing from high to low. The thrill of uncertainty, the rush of unpredictability. The man who's always available, invisible. The man who makes her wonder, unforgettable. Think about it. The relationships that consume women's minds aren't the easy ones. They're the ones filled with moments. The guy who disappears for a day, then shows up like nothing happened. The one who makes her laugh 1 second and question everything the next. The one who makes her feel. And no, this isn't about playing games. It's about understanding polarity, the balance between presence and absence, intimacy and distance. Robert Greene said it best. Too much presence, and you become predictable. Too much absence, and you lose your power. A woman's desire is ruled by emotion, not logic. The man who understands how to create tension, excitement, and a touch of chaos, he's the one she can't walk away from. Because comfort is forgettable, but contrast? Contrast makes her obsessed. The fourth weakness. How a man's voice controls her mind. You think attraction starts with the eyes? You're wrong. For a woman, a man's voice is just as powerful as his touch. It slips into her subconscious, rewires her emotions, and makes her feel something before she even understands why. It's not just sound. It's influence. A deep, slow, controlled voice doesn't just sound good. It commands. It's the difference between a man who's heard and a man who's felt. She won't say it out loud, but when a man speaks with quiet confidence, with deliberate pauses and unshakable control, her body reacts before her mind catches up. Because nature designed it that way. A study from the University of Aberdeen confirms what instinct has always known. Women are biologically drawn to deeper voices. Why? Because they signal strength, security, power. But it's not just what a man says, it's how he says it. The man who speaks too fast, anxious, weak, forgettable. The man who speaks too slow, unsure, hesitant, lost. But the man who speaks with control, he owns the room. He owns her attention. Think of the most seductive scenes in film. The man isn't in a rush. He doesn't fill the silence with nervous chatter. He lets it breathe. He lets her wait. Because that second, when she's hanging on his words, heart pounding, breath caught in her throat, that's not just conversation, that's power. Because the real secret isn't in sounding good, it's in knowing when to stay silent. One pause, one heartbeat of hesitation, and suddenly she's leaning in, waiting, needing to hear what comes next. And that anticipation, that's where obsession begins. The fifth weakness, the hidden effect of jealousy. Attraction isn't born in silence. It's born in war. A woman might like a man, but if there's no competition, if she's the only one who wants him, her interest stays lukewarm, comfortable, but never burning. But the second she senses another woman in the picture, the moment she feels that subtle threat of losing him, that's when desire explodes into obsession. This isn't just attraction, it's territorial instinct. Women aren't just drawn to high-value men. They're drawn to men in demand. And a man surrounded by options isn't just attractive, he's dangerous. That's why celebrities, athletes, and powerful men don't ask for attention. They command it. It's not just their money or status, it's the social proof, the undeniable signal that they are wanted by many. But most men, they get this all wrong. They pour all their energy into one woman, thinking they're proving loyalty. They chase, they prioritize, they make her their world. And what does she see? A man with no other options. And if no one else wants him, why should she? But the man who moves differently, the one who doesn't seek validation, the one who naturally attracts attention, he doesn't just spark interest, he triggers competition, and that changes everything. A woman doesn't just want a great man, she wants a man that other women want. She wants to win. And the moment she senses he's in demand, without arrogance, without desperation, he becomes a prize she can't afford to lose. And the man who understands this, he doesn't chase. He chooses the sixth weakness, the sweet spot of tension. Desire doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in the unknown. Most men kill attraction before it even has a chance to take root. They move too fast. They confess their feelings too soon, push for commitment before the fire even starts burning, and strip away every ounce of mystery. And the moment a woman knows she has a man, completely, effortlessly, her excitement vanishes. Why? Because attraction isn't about getting what you want. It's about the buildup, the tension, the ache of not knowing what happens next. That's why a great movie keeps you on edge, leaning in, pulse racing. You crave the reveal, but only if it's earned. And that's exactly how attraction works. A woman needs uncertainty. She needs to wonder, to question, to doubt herself. The second she feels too secure, too certain of where things are going, the tension dies. And when tension dies, so does her interest. The men who never lose a woman's attention understand this instinctively. They flirt but never overcommit. They tease, keeping her guessing. They hold back just enough, creating a chase she can't resist. And this isn't just about playing games, it's about creating an experience. A man who paces attraction knows exactly what he's doing. He speaks in a way that makes her lean in. He touches in a way that leaves her wanting more. He slows the rhythm of the relationship, making every moment feel earned. Because a woman's deepest craving isn't love, it's longing. It's the unbearable tension of almost having something, but never fully grasping it. And the man who understands this, she never forgets him. The seventh weakness, the fantasy effect. She's alone, yet she still feels him, not his touch, not his presence, but him, the way he made her feel, the way his words linger in her mind like an unsolved mystery. And that's why she can't let go. Most men think attraction is about looks, about money, about status. But none of that matters if a woman doesn't feel something when you're gone. The men women obsess over don't just exist in reality. They exist in her fantasy. Think about it. Why do women go crazy over celebrities they've never even met? It's not because they know them. It's because they don't. It's the mystery, the illusion, the story their minds create in the silence. And a regular man? He can trigger the exact same effect if he understands one rule: never give her everything too soon. Most men suffocate attraction before it even begins. They explain themselves too much. They answer every question too directly. They leave nothing to the imagination. They think honesty builds attraction. But the truth? A woman desires what she doesn't fully understand. She needs gaps. She needs space to wonder, to create her own story about who he is, what he's thinking, what he feels for her. That's what keeps her up at night. That's what makes her heart race when she sees his name on her phone. And the man who understands this, he doesn't over-explain. He doesn't rush to be figured out. He lets silence do the work. Because the real power, it's not in the words he says, it's in the words she wishes he had said. And that's what keeps her coming back. The eighth weakness, the authority effect. She watches, she tests, she waits. Not for a man who asks, "What do you want to do?" every 5 minutes. Not for a man who hesitates, who looks to her for permission, who needs her approval before he makes a move. She's waiting for something else. A leader. Not a dictator, not a bully. A man who moves with certainty. A man who doesn't hesitate, doesn't fumble, doesn't second-guess himself into oblivion, a man who decides and expects her to follow. Because deep down, beneath the surface-level words about equality and balance, her biology is wired for something primal. That's why she pushes. That's why she tests. She's not just playing games, she's measuring him. Will he hold his ground? Or will he crumble under pressure? Because the moment a man starts seeking her validation, the moment he looks to her to guide him, the moment he hesitates when he should act, her attraction begins to die. A strong man doesn't ask for permission. He doesn't wait for a sign. He moves. He decides. He says, "Let's go." And she follows. Not because she has to, because she wants to. And that's the difference. The men who hesitate, who second-guess, who try to make her decide for them, they're nice, they're sweet, but they don't make her feel anything. Because the second a woman senses a man's uncertainty, she starts pulling away. But the man who leads, the man who owns his presence, who doesn't beg, who doesn't break, she doesn't just trust him, she wants him. The ninth weakness, the emotional drug. She tells herself she wants peace, stability, a love without chaos. But watch what she chooses. The man who makes her feel safe, she appreciates him. The man who makes her feel everything, she can't walk away. Because attraction isn't logical, it's chemical. A reaction she can't control. Excitement, jealousy, surprise, uncertainty. It's the highs and lows that make her heartbeat race. The tension, the push and pull. The feeling of wanting more but never being completely sure if she has it. It's why people get addicted to roller coasters, to gambling, to the rush of chasing something just out of reach. And women? They get addicted to men who give them that feeling. The predictable guy, the one who's always there, always available, always making things easy. She might like him, but she won't crave him. Because comfort doesn't create desire. Tension does. The man who teases her, then disappears. The one who pulls her in, then makes her wonder. The one who isn't easy to predict, who keeps her emotions spiking like waves in a storm. That's the man she can't forget. Because her heart doesn't follow logic. It follows the rush, the final weakness, the submissive trigger. She's strong, independent, a force of her own. But put her next to a man who truly knows his power, and watch what happens. She doesn't just want to be with him, she wants to feel like she belongs to him. This isn't about control. It's not about being possessive, it's deeper than that. Primal, unshakable, instinctual. A woman can only fully sink into her femininity when she's standing next to a man who is masculine enough to hold it. And not just any man. The man who moves with certainty. The man who speaks with authority. The man who owns the space he's in, without ever needing to prove it. Because in that moment, she feels it. That pull, that deep, unexplainable desire to surrender. A weak man can't trigger this. If he's hesitant, unsure, apologetic, she feels nothing. If he waits for permission instead of leading, her attraction vanishes before it even begins. But the man who knows his worth, the man who sets boundaries and doesn't break them, the man who doesn't hesitate when it's time to act, she melts. And the most powerful part? She won't even understand why. She'll just feel it. Now that you know what most men never will, what are you going to do with it? Be the man who stands out. Be the man who gets inside her head. Be the man who doesn't just attract her, but owns her mind. For more insights like this, subscribe to our channel. Stay sharp, stay aware, and always stay ahead. Until next time.